Hello, welcome to the first reading vlog of 2025. I'm in makeup, so that's why I look kind of funny right now. But I'm rocking my library look here, but ignore my hair, it's gross. I haven't showered today. I'm trying to poppy for the first time. It's fine. I don't really see what the fuss is all about, I'm not gonna lie, but that's okay. But I just got done filming 2 videos, my reading goals and my writing goals. But the main reason I wanted to come on here and talk to you was because I'm doing a challenge this month through Storygraph where I'm trying to read every day of January. And so far, I have done just that. It is January 4th, and I have managed to read every day so far this year, which is very exciting. I don't have all the books with me, because one's an ebook and the other one's in the other room. So let me go grab that one really quickly, actually. For those of you who don't know, I read multiple books at a time. And the book that I started out with, the beginning of the year, first book that I started reading was Apprentice to the Villain by Hannah Nicole Mayer. I am 110 pages into this book because on January 1st, I sat down and read the first 100 pages of this book. And then on January 2nd, I read 10 pages. It's not a reflection of the book, that's more me. I didn't have time on the second. But on the first, John and I sat down and he played video games for like an hour or so. And I read my book. Actually, it was probably a little over an hour, not much. But yeah, so it was a lot of fun. I really enjoyed doing that. It was the first time we had been able to do that in a long time because I didn't need to run upstairs and do homework. And that was really exciting. So I'm 110 pages into this one. I really like it. I'm enjoying it. It is still the same tongue-in-cheek, kind of making fun of fantasy a little bit kind of story, which I am enjoying, but I have found I have to be in the right mood in order to enjoy this book, which is a little unfortunate, but it could be worse as well, so it's not too bad. I will finish this. Obviously, I am curious to see where this series is going and what she's going to be doing with it. I do wish that it was a little bit more serious at times, and she's touched on it, but it's just quip after quip, which is a little bit much for me, I'm not gonna lie. I don't think I'm enjoying this as much as I enjoyed the first one. The first one was just so much fun. This one is a lot of the first one again. So we'll see. Again, I'm only 110 pages in, but it's also like 350 some, or 300 and... No, that's not it. This is 337 pages, so I should be able to finish it pretty quickly. Yes. The ebook that I am currently working on is The Starlight Heir by Amelie Howard, I believe it is. Amelie Howard was at Romance Con, and I actually got an ARC of this book that comes out on the 7th, so I think before this video comes out, and I started it. I got 18% of the way, or 5% of the way through the book in my 15-minute break at work, and I really like it. I think it'll be an interesting story. I don't know if this is a series. I don't think so. It's not advertised as one, so I am enjoying it. I really like the writing style, and I looked it up because it felt familiar somehow, and I've read a book by Amelie Howard before. It was a long time ago, and it's not in my Storygraph, so this is going to come up as the first book I've read by this author. But I read The Almost Girl by Emily Howard, which is the first book in the Riven Chronicles. And this book was first published in 2013. I believe I read it in 2014. So, like, if that doesn't tell you how old this is, but unfortunately, I don't remember really enjoying this book as much, but I do believe this may have been her debut as well. It is a steampunk sci-fi fantasy kind of story. I believe the main character was a cyborg. That's all I remember. I did want to read the second one at some point, because there is a second book in this series. I don't think there's a third. I think she stopped at 2. The second one, yeah, The Fallen Prince. Right? Are there only 2 in this series? Hold on, let's see. Yep, there's only 2. But I have read a book by her, so that was kind of fun to realize. But I read, according to Storygraph, I read about 18 pages of that book in 15 minutes, so I'm pretty happy with that. And then today, I cleaned my desk, and so I continued my audiobook, which is this chonker of a beast of a book. This is Stone of Farewell by Ted Williams, the second book in the Memory, Sorrow, and Thorn series. I haven't talked a lot about this one because I'm making a long, I think it's going to be a spoilery-filled video of me reading my Broken Binding series that I get. So, yes! And this is the second book, and there's going to be 4 that we're going to be getting. I just got the 3rd one, and the 4th one should be coming this month. But I read I listened to 70 pages, the equivalent of 70 pages in this book, and it is getting very tense. It's very good. I'm really enjoying myself, and I might just do some cross-stitch and listen to this book for the rest of the night, honestly. I'd be okay with that. I was supposed to work out, but I really just don't feel like it. I'm still sore from the last time I worked out. I started shadowboxing again, which is something I used to do years ago, and we have a Peloton subscription, and they have shadowboxing, and I was like, you know what? Yeah, let's do it. And so I did it, and oh my gosh, I missed shadowboxing so much. And so we're on our health kick again, which is great. I mean, this is the start of the year. Everyone's on a health kick right now. But our motivation is that we're getting married this year, and I want to fit into my wedding dress nicely. I can't decide if I like the poppy or not. I don't think I do, but I think it's because there's a lot of... I can taste the apple cider vinegar in there. But it's not bad. I keep making a face, but it's because it's a weird taste for me. I expected strawberry lemonade, and instead I have apple cider strawberry lemonade. So I have like strawberry apple cider is kind of what it tastes like, which isn't bad, but it's not what I expected. So yes, I think I'm going to listen to my audiobook. I should do some writing. I don't know. I'll figure it out. And I will update you guys later. But so far, I'm doing pretty good. I haven't finished a book yet this year, but I have read 198 pages. I don't know. It's good. It'll be interesting. We'll see how this goes. I don't know. All right. That's my update. Bye. So it's the 5th. I read 205 pages of this book today. That's 5 out of 5 days in a row. I love this book. I don't know if this one's getting a 5 out of 5, but like, I'm really loving this series. Highly recommend the audiobooks though. Like, the physical book's good, and I really like it, but how it's laid out isn't my favorite thing in the world. I do like that at least in this version there's a map at the beginning of each section, so that's cool. But I don't like the fact that there's different points of view and it only switches because of this in the middle. I'm not a big fan of that one for reading it, but yes. Yes. That's where I'm at with that one. But I wanted to share. I read 205 pages today. That's up to over 400 pages so far this year. Look at me go. I'm excited. I'm honestly also just really enjoying myself, so back to reading. All right, so it is the 9th of January. I've finished one book so far this year, and I had started another one, and I really hoped that this one was going to be the first book that I finished this year, and that's Apprentice to the Villain by Hannah Nicole Mayer. I'm halfway through this book and it's taken me a week to get here. I loved the first book in this series. I gave Assistant to the Villain 4.5 out of 5. I absolutely loved the humor. I loved the wit. I loved how chaotic that book was. Unfortunately for me, I'm finding this book to be a lot more chaotic, to a point where I don't really like the writing style anymore. I'm not liking the characters nearly as much as I used to. I'm not liking where the story's going. I'm so like, it feels so disjointed, and it felt like it needed another several rounds of edits, and it needed a solid like plot line that didn't deviate so much. This isn't a Bleach episode. This is a novel, and I think that would help a lot. But I also am recognizing right now I'm not in the mood for funny fantasy. I'm for the funny, humorous kind of fantasy that this is. I have to be in the right mood to read this book, and judging by what I have been reading lately, I'm not in this kind of mood at all, and I should not have grabbed this. So I'm going to put this on pause, and I'm going to read something else instead. What that is, I'm not exactly positive. It might be a new book that I just got. I've been into some thriller ideas lately, and then I have a couple darker fantasy that are on my TBR that I might read. Like, I might pick up Foul Days instead, because that does sound like a book that might be more up my alley right now. So I think I'm going to just try and switch and figure out what I might actually be in the mood for, because I've been reading this while John's been playing video games at night, so we've both been there. We've both been on the couch, and I swear every 20 pages I put down this book and I complain about something to him. So this isn't a good book for me to read right now. And it's really bumming me out because I really liked the first one. And it's a trilogy, and I pre-ordered the third one because I anticipated absolutely loving this series for the whimsy of it. So I'm hoping it's just my mood. So I'm going to put this down. There's a lot of dark stuff going on in the world right now, too. So I'm kind of in a darker mood. This isn't striking my fancy, so we're going to try something else and see how it goes. Yeah, that's where we're at right now. Let me show you the books I got. I got some books. I got 3 books from Barnes & Noble today because I happened to be near Barnes & Noble. Well, I was driving past it when I was cat sitting today. So, yes. All right. So, first book that I got, the reason that I went in was actually two anticipated reads I have for this year. The first one is A Language of Dragons by S.F. Williamson. It's so shiny. This, I didn't realize is a YA, but it's about it is a historical fiction fantasy book. So I'm just going to read the description for these because it's just a lot easier. London, 1923. Dragons soar through the skies and protests erupt on the streets, but Vivian Featherswallow isn't worried. She's going to follow the rules, get a summer internship studying dragon languages, be smart, be sweet, and make sure her little sister never ever has to risk growing up 3rd class. She just has to free one dragon. By midnight, Vivi has started a civil war. With her parents and cousin arrested and her sister missing, Viv is brought to Bletchley Park as a code breaker. If she succeeds, she and her family can all go home again. If she doesn't, they'll all die. As Viv begins to discover the secrets of a hidden dragon language, she realizes that the fragile peace treaty that holds human and dragon societies together is corrupt, and the dangerous work Viv is doing could be the thread that unravels it all. I don't know, I thought this one sounds very intriguing. It's not terribly long. It's 420 pages, and I'm very intrigued by the concept and by the book itself. I haven't looked at it. It's purple. It's very pretty. Ooh, look at that spine. Ooh, I like that. That's cool. Okay. It's got dragons on the spine. That's cool. All right, but that is one that is highly anticipated. It just came out on the 7th, so I'm hoping to get to it this month. We'll see. Today's the 9th, by the way. But I don't know. The next book was another book that I was hoping to get, and it's actually a horror book. And that is Wake Up and Open Your Eyes by Clay McLeod Chapman. I haven't read anything by him, but This book has been getting just so many people just being like, read it. It's such a good horror book. Noah Fairchild has been losing his formerly polite Southern parents to far-right cable news for years. So when his mother leaves him a voicemail warning him that the great reawakening is here, he assumes it's related to one of the many conspiracy theories she believes in. But when his own phone calls go unanswered, Noah makes the long drive from his home in Brooklyn to Richmond, Virginia. There, he discovers his childhood home in shambles, a fridge full of spoiled food, and his parents locked in a terrifying trance-like state in front of the TV. Panicked, Noah attempts to snap them out of it and get medical help. Then, Noah's mother brutally attacks him. But Noah isn't the only person to be attacked by a loved one. Families across the country are tearing each other apart, literally, as people succumb to a form of possession that gets worse the more time they spend glued to cable news or falling down internet rabbit holes. In Noah's Richmond-based family, only he and his young nephew Marcus are unaffected. Together they must race back to the safe haven of Brooklyn, but can they make it before they fall prey to the violent hordes? Yeah, I'm so intrigued. And this sounds absolutely terrifying. And sounds a lot like some things we deal with right now. Yay! Yay! Conspiracy theories online and all that good stuff. But honestly, I really think this sounds interesting. I do like this cover, too, where they all have the staticky faces from the older televisions. So I am super intrigued by this. And then I picked up The Nothing Man by Catherine Ryan Howard. I have another book by Catherine Ryan Howard. I have Distress Signals by her downstairs. And this one actually matches it, which is very interesting. At the age of 12... Evie Black was the only member of her family to survive an encounter with a serial attacker, the Nothing Man. Now an adult, she is obsessed with identifying the man who destroyed her life. Supermarket security guard Jim Doyle has just started reading The Nothing Man, the true crime memoir Eve has written about her efforts to track down her family's killer. As he turns each page, his rage grows. Because Jim's not just interested in reading about the Nothing Man, he is the Nothing Man. Jim soon begins to realize how dangerously close Eve is getting to the truth. He knows she won't give up until she finds him. He has no choice but to stop her first. I don't know. It sounds intriguing. These kinds of books are like right up my alley right now. That's kind of the mood I'm in, which also might be why Apprentice to the Villain isn't working for me right now. It is so the opposite of what I'm in the mood to read. I'm in the mood for a lot more darker kind of stuff, which I just finished The Stone of Farewell by Tad Williams, which is fantasy, yes, but it's kind of a dark fantasy at times. It's very high fantasy, very dark themes running through it. So I think I'm just kind of in a mode of like darker kind of stuff. And I think that might be because it's winter right now where I live. So yes, so I might switch over because ooh, these sound really good right now, but that's my book haul. These are this is the one I went in for. These two, I knew about this one because this one's on my list for most anticipated. And this one I know of the author, and her concepts are so intriguing to me. I'm really hoping that I'm going to like her writing style and she'll become a new favorite thriller author. That would be amazing. I'd be very excited about that. So, if you've read any of these yet, let me know. Let me know what you think, because I'd like to know. Cool. All right. That's my update.
Stumbling out of bed, and I still got you in my head from all those pretty words you said. It's like I'm wasted. Every time I see your face, I'm losing track of time and space. I don't know where I am. It's like I'm wasted, and I won't waste it. And I promise that I will stand by you forever. I can't get you out of my mind. I will follow you wherever, and I won't waste this. I'll follow you, yeah. I'll follow you, yeah. Could you come a little closer? don't wanna slow this down. My heart is screaming out your name. I'm wasted on you. Here we are, right underneath the stars. So let's get a little reckless. You make me breathless, and I won't waste this. And I promise that I will stand by you forever. I can't get you out of my mind. I will follow you wherever, and I won't waste this.
Wow. Okay, actually I'm gonna take these off. You can see how tired I look. I have a reading vlog update. I finished a book today. Second book of the year. I mean, it is late. It's like the 13th. But I finished The Nothing Man by Catherine Ryan Howard today. This was really good. I was really honestly pleasantly surprised by this. I wasn't exactly sure what I was going to be expecting going into this one. I didn't know what to expect. Let's try that again. I didn't know what to expect going into this, not gonna lie. I knew it was like kind of a fictional true crime kind of story. So basically our main character in this book is Eve Black, or Evie Black. I think it's supposed to be Evie Black. And it takes place in Ireland. And she is the sole survivor of a family killing. So her father, her mother, and her younger sister were all murdered by a man known as the Nothing Man. He's called the Nothing Man because nothing is left behind. There is no evidence that he was there. There are no fingerprints. There's no DNA. There is absolutely nothing. And they could find, for the longest time, they could not figure out anything to connect these cases. And then one of the police officers, a detective like is able to connect, I think, 5 different crimes to him that vary from rape all the way up to murder. So yeah, like pleasant stuff. This is there are parts of this story that are difficult. But what this story is basically Eve Black, 20 years later, she's writing a book. She's in her mid to late 20s. She's written a book called The Nothing Man, and we're reading excerpts from The Nothing Man. And we're getting that point of view from her experiences in life since then. The other point of view we do get is from the guy who was the Nothing Man, or is the Nothing Man, you can say. And he has a really down job. He is a security guard at a mall, and he is miserable, honestly. He's just miserable as he is right now. And we get his point of view as he discovers that the girl that he let live, kind of on accident, has come out and written a book about him. And it's so interesting because, one, this plays out like a Criminal Minds episode, like a Criminal Minds special. It really does. It's great. I highly enjoyed this book. But it also, there were points of this where I did almost forget that it was fiction. Like, the author, Catherine Ryan Howard, she did such an amazing job of just drawing me into this story. I wanted to know more. It was a challenging read, like I said, at points. It's a long book. Like, it's a solid 332 pages. Looks longer than that for some reason. I did kind of figure out what was going to happen near the end. I did figure that out about 3/4 of the way through. But that didn't diminish my enjoyment of this book, so I would highly recommend it. I did really, really have a good time. And yeah, so that's what I got through. I got through 2 books so far this year. I'm a book behind. But it's less that I'm a book behind, and it's more I would like to read more. But I did watch a movie, so that helps. I did watch movies, and I have been writing. In fact, John and I, tonight, we watched The Beehive. Sorry, there's something, like, stuck to my desk. Tonight, we watched The Beehive, and it was honestly, it's just a fun movie. I really enjoyed it. I like Jason Statham, though, so I'm one of those kinds of people. I like my action movies like that, to a point. But it was one that we had been wanting to watch, and so we finally did sit down and watch it. It's on Amazon Prime, so yeah. There we go. That's what I got. That's my update for you. What is it? It's the 17th. But yesterday, I finished A Sense of Danger. Alright, editing Sam here. I had a clip of when I first started A Sense of Danger. It got corrupted somehow, and it doesn't work. No. So, we don't have that clip. I'm sorry. But I started, it took me 3 days to finish A Sense of Danger, which isn't bad. I'm not used to it. I'm not back into the habit of reading a book a day. But I really liked how it started. I was super into it, and I binged almost half of that book in one day because I was having trouble sleeping. So that's basically what the clip before this was supposed to be, or the clip before this upcoming one was supposed to be, but yeah. So this is what you get. I'm sorry. By Jennifer Estep. I honestly really, really enjoyed this book, like, a lot. I flew through it, so much so I own the novella that comes after this one. And I might have pre-ordered the second book that comes out in August. The novella is a holiday novella, so I'm very excited about it. Hold on, I gotta put you down. This is just not working. This is the first book in a series called Section 47. Sorry, I'm heating up water for tea right now, so hopefully it's not too loud or anything. But this is a book that follows Charlotte Locke, who is an analyst for Section 47. And Section 47 is a secret government agency that tracks terrorists, criminals, and other paramortal bad guys who want to unleash their magical abilities on an unsuspecting mortal world. So every character in these books that are part of Section 47 have some sort of magical power, and I really, really like this aspect. So in this book, Charlotte, one of our main characters, her special power is she is an analyst. So she is able to tell if somebody is lying. There is, I think she calls it synesthesia. I cannot say that word. I'm so sorry. But she can tell if someone's lying. She can tell if someone wrote something down wrong. She can tell if there's mistakes in spreadsheets, all of that. So she is an analyst for this company. Our other character is Desmond Percy, who is a cleaner, which is another word for assassin. And he has the ability to manipulate metal and energy coming from metal. So I think it's such an interesting concept. I absolutely love this. And they're kind of like forced together on a mission to try and find someone in order to avenge someone from Desmond's past, and figure out what happened to Charlotte's father. So there's a lot going on in this book. It's a lot about legacies. It's a lot about living in the shadow of parents, whether good or bad. And it's a lot about kind of figuring yourself out. But it's also action. It is James Bond. It feels so much like James Bond, and in the best way. I love it. I absolutely, like I said, I devoured this book. I ended up giving it a 4.75. I absolutely loved it. And I do plan on reading the rest of the series for sure. This is my first Jennifer Estep book, which is unfortunate because I have like 2 or 3 others. I have 3 others. They're all high fantasy, so I might give those a try. I have the ebook for the novella, so I'm probably going to read that at work at some point. This is slightly spicy, but it's not until closer to the end. So it is, I would call it a relatively slow burn, but he falls first, and it's very fun. This is a very enjoyable series. I didn't know that I needed a spy assassin book with romance, but I did. I really did. So I feel great. I absolutely love this one. This is definitely the mood that I was in, so I'm very happy to have read it. Next book I picked up is The Games Gods Play by Abigail Owen. I've read 1 chapter. I have 6 pages into this book so far, so I'm not far into it. It's fine. Again, I'm 6 pages in. I can tell you nothing. This is like over 500 pages of a book. It's a chunky book. I can tell you it reads really easy so far. And that she's kind of a thief. Yeah, and she's cursed. I don't know what the curse is. We haven't been told that yet, but she's cursed. And that's what I know. And she can't steal. She's not subtle. which is interesting because usually for these kinds of characters, you make them subtle, you make them into like a thief or something like that. And for this one, she specifically is not a thief. So I think that's an interesting twist. Curious to see where this goes. It's a very pretty book. But I'm going to do some reading right now. I'm going to make myself a cup of tea. I'm going to do some reading, and I'm going to go to bed. So yes, that's where we're at. I'm tired, but not quite tired enough to go to bed yet. I would toss and turn quite a bit. I'm going to try, see if I'm in the mood for this. I'm a little hesitant on this book, honestly. I'm honestly not sure if I'm going to like it. So we'll see how this goes. Yes, okay. I'll update you when I have an update. Which, this might be the end. It's 2 days later. It's Sunday, and it's the end of this video. I managed to read, I ended up reading 92 pages of, my computer's turning on, of the games God's Play on Friday night, and I really am enjoying it. I'm intrigued by, I shouldn't say I'm fully enjoying it, I am intrigued by the story, I'm intrigued by the characters. I will admit to finding the main character a little annoying. Like, I get she's very snarky, she doesn't think before she talks, but like, when every single line you say is snarky, it does get old very fast. Or every single line of hers is supposed to be like wit and a punchline. That's a bit much for me. It feels like she isn't developed as a character. She's just wit and sass and snark, and that is it. Like, and which is fine to a point, but I'm hoping that we're gonna get a bit more from her than what we have. So, assuming we're gonna get more, I am gonna enjoy this book. Yesterday I didn't read much. We ended up doing other things, I guess. I don't know. But I started an ebook that I just got called Empire Shadows by Jacqueline Benson. This is a historical slate fantasy. I believe it's a romance, but I don't know. I don't think, as of right now, it's not a romance. It's actually like a mystery thriller historical fantasy one, so I'm intrigued by it. I haven't made progress in anything else, but I'm going to do a 24-hour readathon pretty soon, so that hopefully should help with that and change that a little bit. So that's my update. That's where I'm at as of right now, and that's what we have. That's going to be the end of this video. How many times can I say that in like 2 minutes? So that's what we got. All right. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, like, comment, subscribe. Please leave, I don't know. Let's leave a bird emoji in the comments if you made it all the way through this video, since the Stardust Air, well, it has a flying fox on it, so leave a bird or a fox. I don't know. I think, yeah, there's a fox emoji. So leave those down below. I'm working through them. We'll see how they go. But that's what I got for you guys here today. And until next time, stay safe, stay healthy, keep reading.